Hi everyone, welcome to Codecraft Academy. If you are coming for the first time, please do hit subscribe and bell icon for more technical tips and tutorials. In this video, we are going to build a small social media feed app showcasing a number of features that demonstrate real-world use cases. For this application, I'm going to use Redux for state management. This will help you understand how to use Redux in your own applications. I have already created a video explaining how Redux will help us build maintainable apps by providing a single central place for global application state. I have also covered core Redux concepts like dispatching action objects and using reducer functions to return new state values. I will add that video in the code section. Please watch it if you haven't seen it yet. Okay, let's start with adding Redux to React project for our application. So for that, what we have to do is let's open the terminal and then run a command, that is npm install, that is redux.js/toolkit space react Redux. We need these two packages to use Redux as state management tool for our application. Okay, and then hit enter. So once we are done with installing these two packages, we are good to go and set up our store for store to maintain the state of our application. Okay, now let's see, we are done with these two packages installation. Now let's go and create a store first. So for that, let me create a folder inside my src folder, that is source folder, React Redux application. Okay, let me create a folder, not file. React Redux application. Okay, it seems I have already created a folder for this. Okay, I already have a folder. Let me add one more folder inside this, that is store folder. Okay, inside store I'm going to create my store file store.js. So to create a store, I'm going to use Redux Toolkit configure store API. Okay, for that let me import, or let's just add store equal to configure let me check whether my installation went fine or not. I'm not seeing that here. Redux JS toolkit / React Redux. Okay, we installed it now. Why it is not import configure? Yeah, configure store from Redux toolkit and then create store. So this configure store function takes an object. If you see here, it takes an object. Okay, let me pass an object. So inside it I'm going to add our reducers. Reducer is also again an object. Okay, so this is our basic store configuration. So whenever we create a store, we at least should pass one reducer so that we can access the state of Redux store. But now since we are not at all designed our reducers at, so I'm leaving it blank. I'll add it later as we move on. So okay, let me export this store. Okay, now we are done with creating store. Okay, Now let me wrap this store, or let me wrap our root component, this is app component, with a provider component, and then pass this store as a property, so that all our React components will have access to the Redux store. Okay, let me go to, for that let me go to index.js. Inside it, what I have to do is I should wrap my application component, that is root component, with provider component. Okay, for which I'm going to pass my store as a property, provider store. So now the thing is, we should wrap this thing, our app component, with the provider component. So now we are done with the third step as well. So with this, we are done with setting up store for our application, Redux store for our application. So now the next thing is, since as I said, right, this is a social media app, the main feature our application or social media application will be a showing list of posts. We will add several features as we go along, but our first goal is to display the list of post entries on the screen. For that, let's create basic components. One is a post list and another one is a Nowbar component. Nowbar component will be having a title of your application as well as some menu items. Okay, let me create first Nowbar. If you look at here, right, I mean the other right side, you can see the app glimpses. So where, I mean, you are having list of posts, and then single post in a single page, and then adding a post, form to add a post, form to edit post, and then reactions. So these are the features which we're going to implement as we go along. Okay, for that, I mean, even we can add author, I mean, who created the post, and then when he created a post, and reactions, all those things. So for now, let me add Nowbar component. Inside this, I'm going to create a folder, that is Nowbar. Inside Nowbar, I'm going to create a file for Nowbar. Okay, now inside this, I'm, as I said, right, Nowbar will contain title of our application, that is header, application header, as well as a placeholder for menu items. Okay, let me start with designing title, that is a Nowbar section. So for this, okay, I created a basic React component structure. Inside this, I'm going to add a Nowbar. Okay, and then here let me add section. Inside section, as I said, right, I mean, I'm using Tailwind CSS for styling. Okay, for that, let me add some styles to the section, that is background color purple, and then text color white, make text semi bold, width full, padding 2, and the display is flex display, and justify between, and item center. I'm kind of aligning items on center in y-axis, and then margin bottom 4, height 60. This is our menu bar component styles. So inside this, as I said, I'm going to add a header, that is React Redux project. So here let me add some styles. So I want to make my text look bigger, so for the text 3XL, and then want to display in bold format, font semi bold. Okay, with this we are done with a header. Next thing is, we want to have a placeholder for menu items. So for that, let me add one more div, where this is for now content, and the display is flex. Let's have a space between flex items, that is 4. This is to have a space between flex items. So inside this I'm going to add a div where this is for nav links, and then when we hover over on the link, I want to display underline and text Excel text size. This is font size. Okay, let me just simply add text now, placeholder for menu items. I'll add menu items in the coming video. For now I'm just creating a placeholder for it. Let's save this and then create one more basic component, that is post list to display posts on the UI. For that, post lists. So at present, or for time being, I'm just adding a simple data, that is post list here, and then add a class name, text center to display on the center of page, and then text size to Excel. Okay, now see, we are done with the two basic components. That is, one is navbar to have a header section and then a menu item links, and then the second is to display list of posts. So since we don't have any data as of now, I'm just keeping just simple text. Now go to app.jsx and add the navigation. So go here. So what I'm going to do, see, in order to have use or provide navigation to your application, you should have a React Router DOM package. So let me install the React Router DOM first. For that, the command is simple: npm I React Router DOM. So and then press enter. This will install package, React Router DOM package, which you can use to provide navigation to your application. So we are done with that installation. Let's clear and then close this terminal. Now inside this, what I have to do is, let me import browser router as router, comma, import router, comma, routes, comma, route. Yeah, these are the main from React Router DOM. Okay, now let me add the navigation to our application. That is, let's start with router. Okay, return inside it router. Inside router, see, the thing is, I want to have my navbar always on the top wherever we navigate. Like any page you navigate, my navbar component should be on the top. So for that, let me add navbar here. Navbar. I have added navbar on the top. Now I'm going to add navigations to my all the pages which I'm going to what I can say going to design in the coming video. So for that, what I'm doing is, here I simply add routes, inside route, let me add one route, that is path is root path. If any user navigates to the root of my application, I want to display post list. Okay, so this is the basic setup. Now we are done with store, navbar, post list, and then app component as well. Let me start my application and then see how it looks. So to start the React application, the command is to start the React application created using npx create react app component command. For that, the command is npx start, npm start. Once you press enter, this will start my application on 3000 port in localhost. Okay, let me start the application and then I'll show you how it displays or how our application looks. See, it's starting my application on 3000 port. Yep, it created. So this is how it looks. This is the Nowbar component where we added title and then placeholder for menu items for now. I'll add here some links, menu links or menu items going forward. So and then our post list will be, our all posts will display here. See, since we're done with the basic components, now let's start with adding data to our application. So for that, what we are going to do is to show the post data on the screen. I will create a new Redux slice that will contain the data for our posts. Okay, for that, what I'm going to do is in the same post folder, let me create one more file, that is post slice JS. So inside this, I'm going to create a reducers and then provide initial data, and even the main use of using slice is we can avoid creating a action creators, which actually returns action objects which are useful to dispatch actions based on user action, right? So but instead of that, instead of creating individual reducers, I am creating here a slice which by default provides us the action creators, so we can avoid that effort or we can avoid creating action creators manually. Okay, that is the main advantage of creating slice. Now here I am going to use a Redux toolkit create slice function to make a reducer function that handles our post data. Reducer functions need some initial data, so the Redux store has values when the app starts up. Okay, for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an array with some fake post objects to begin adding the UI. Okay, now let me create a slice for our post data. Okay, for that, as I said, right, our Redux store requires some initial data to start our application. For that, what I'm going to do is constant initial state. I'm going to create an array which will contain two data for two posts. Okay, first ID 1, title, first post, and then content FIR, first post content. So in the similar way, I'm going to create one more record for post, that is title, second post, content, and the ID is 2. Okay, so we are done with creating some initial data which we can pass to our slice. So now the next thing is, let me create a slice for our post data. So for that I am going to use Redux toolkit create slice function. Create slice, which this function takes again an object as an input. That is, inside it I am going to pass name for our slice, that is posts, and then initial state, and then reducers. So I'm not going to add any reducer functions here as of now, since we are using dummy data as of now. We are going to add reducer functions here as we go on. When we create a form to add post or to edit post, I'm going to add reducers here. So now with this we are done with reducers. Now let me export the post slice reducer so that we can make use of it wherever we need. Okay, export post slice dot reducer. This is, so we are done with creating a slice. So every, what is the export default? Yeah, export default post slice dot reducer. We are done with creating a slice. Every time when we create a new slice, we need to add its reducer function to our Redux store. We already have a Redux store, but it doesn't have any data yet. Adding the reducer tells Redux to have a field name. So now the thing is, as I said, right, we already created a store, but where we haven't added any reducer. If you see here, this is an empty. And then now, since why? Because we haven't created any reducers when we created this store. So now we created a reducers inside this post slice. So let me add this reducer to this store. Okay, for that I am going to add this line. So before that, what we have to do is I should import that reducer from post slice. Import posts reducer from posts there post slice. Okay, now let me add this reducer to the okay. We are now done with post reducer. Let me see what is there here. Posts export POSTSREDU. Let me see the spelling. Post reducer. Why it's showing error here? Okay, I understood now. See, we actually used default export, right? For default, we don't need to have this curly braces. Okay, we only have a curly braces so if you don't use the default export. Now we added reducer to the store. With this we should be able to access whatever the data available in the Redux store, and then we can display on the UI. Let me start showing the post list or whatever the fake data we added into the post slice. on the UI screen. Okay, for that what I'm going to do is I'm going to post slice or post lists component. Here I'm going to repeat or access the data from what I can say store, and then use or iterate through the data and then display on the UI. For that let me add a component here, and then we can go ahead with the one sec. Okay, now in order to access the data from Redux Store, we should make use of useSelector. React components can read data from, let me add here first. So inside post list component, what I'm going to use, I'm going to read the posts from the Redux Store state using useSelector hook. useSelector hook. For this useSelector, the entire Redux state object is a parameter, and then from which we can return the specific data that the component needs from the store. So for that what I'm going to do is add state here. From this I need to access post data. If you see here inside slice, the name of our slice is post. So now I want to access the state of this post reducer or post slice. Okay, inside it. So with this we'll get access to the posts. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop through all the post data and then display on the UI. For that let me remove this and then add proper structure to display the post. For that let me add a section first, and then for this section I'm going to add some class or CSS styles. I'm going to add width, max width, and then margin auto on x-axis, and then margin top 10, since we already have a navbar on top, right? So I don't want to have a overlap between these two components, so I'm adding that, and then p4 padding. So now inside section what I'm going to display is I'm going to first add an header to show post title, that is to just say this is the post data kind of thing. So for that let me add h2 header, where I just simply add posts, and then let me add a style for this. So let me show it something bigger rather than normal text, to Excel, bold format, semi bold, and then margin bottom 4. So if I now save this, let me see how it looks. See here, now we got this header, there is post header, and then now inside this I want to show my post content, that is each post should have a ID, title, and then content. Okay, now let me add our post data is in the post variable here, right? So let me use map to loop through all the post data. Post dot map post okay, each post contain title and then content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to display title and then content. For that let me add one more tag, that is article tag. Inside article I am going to display the title, post dot title, and then content, post content. Okay, now we added content and then title also. Now let me see. Yeah, if you see here, it's showing the first post and then content, second post and then content, but it's not formatted, or it's not kind of a structured. So let me, and then if you see here, we are getting an error saying that each child in a list should have a key. Okay, yeah, for that what we can do is we can simply, this is a each article will be kind of a what I can say, child of our post data. So what I can do is key equal to, let me add post ID so that it will be unique for each child. Now, yep, now that error gone, but now let me add styles for this post component so that it will be structured and then looks beautiful. Okay, for that let me add CSS styles. As I said, I'm going to use Tailwind CSS. Okay, let me add a border to look like a kind of a card structure. Okay, and then border color will be border gray. Let me add a gray color. Let me add a gray color and then rounded, medium, padding 4, margin bottom 4, some shadow. Let me add some shadow to the post data. Shadow. Okay, let me save this and then see how it looks. Okay, now we got some styles to the post content. Let me add further few more styles to the title and then content. Okay, let me show title in bold format and then font size a little bigger, text XL, and then font semi bold. Okay, sorry, font semi bold. This is for title. Okay, in the similar way, let me add some styles to the content as well. Class name, text color is gray, color is gray. Okay, and then margin top 2. Let me save this. See here, now we got little bit very good look, I can say. Okay, with this we are now able to render or display the list of posts on our UI, that is on main page. Okay, this is about, the first part of our project, that is creating a social media application where we actually created a navigation and then showing a list of posts on the UI side. And the post data, for now we are using just fake data. We haven't provided any functionality to add post and then retrieve the data and then display on the page. That we're gonna add in the coming sections or coming videos. Okay, this is all about using what I can say, Redux for our store, for our state management, and then display the data on the UI side. So in the coming videos, I'm going to show you the next part, that is adding a posts from the application. That is, we'll be adding a form to add a post and then display the post added in the post list. Okay, thanks for watching. Please do subscribe and share the video if you like with your friends. and then comment or drop a comment in the comment section if you want anything like more details on any particular topic. I will try to add it in the next sections or next videos. Thank you.